Hey everyone, welcome to another Daydream. So you guys saw the steering wheel that I've got. Time sort of come to try and install it. Before I begin, a bit of a rant. So the people I bought the steering wheel from are called OHC Motors. It's a Smartbox Pro P100, so if you want to get this, you can. But I feel I have to say this. These are going to be some strong words, and I don't like to use them, but they are absolutely shit. The motherfuckers don't get back to you at all. I asked them for instructions on how to install this on the Mustang, and it was like, oh, Mustang, bit complicated. That's it. Tried WhatsApp, tried Instagram. They don't want to know. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. If you guys get this kit and you don't know how to install it, or if you're having trouble, forget it. You're not gonna get any help from them. They are by far and away the single worst company I have ever used in my life in terms of aftercare, and I've used some pretty bad ones, right? I want to do a series on that. So there's a story with my wheels, and there's a story with my MMR primary tensioners and chain guides when I put them in before I supercharge the car. So that was the rant. I'm sorry about that. I like to be positive. I'm usually a positive person, but these guys have really irked me, and I'm not the only one. There's another fellow guy who actually has helped me, who's installed this wheel on his car on the Mustang 6G forum, and he said the same. They just don't care. They say just go to a professional, like as if we can't do this job ourselves. And it's very annoying. They have a decent product, but they're complete dicks. So that's that. In terms of the plan for today, first things first, I'm gonna take the harness out from this one because I need to use the cables. Problem I have is with this kit, what you should get is like 2 cables with like pins already attached to them. So all you do is you plug it in to this one and another pin into the one from your steering column into your clock spring, and then you attach it to the silver wire on this thing. But I don't have those, and when I actually got my display, there were problems with it. It didn't come with screws, so it wasn't screwed down, and the actual wires which are supposed to be attached to the PCB weren't attached to it. So I have to do some soldering, I had to get some wiring, and I have to find some screws. So yeah, the single worst company I have ever dealt with in my life, but the product seems to be working okay, which is good, and people aren't really complaining about the quality of the product. So that's that. What is the next step? So the next step is I just want to plug everything in into the car and make sure it works. Again, make sure everything's working. Make sure I know which connections I have to make where. So on this wheel itself, you have positive 12 volt, ground, and something for data or something. We don't bother with this one. So these are my wires that I've had to connect. So the red one apparently goes into this harness that comes with it, and it goes into the white and silver wire, and this harness, let me show you guys, this harness then plugs into here. So it goes in there like so, and then this plugs into the OBD port, and then you have another connection to use your OBD port on whatever you need to use it on. So that's basically it in terms of the product itself. Yeah, that is literally all I got. So yeah, OHC Motors, you gotta fucking get your game up. The single worst, I've used a lot of retailers, the single worst company to deal with in my life. That's a big statement, right? That's a big statement. So I'm just here to tell you guys the truth. I've got no horses in this race. That's the whole point of all of this that I'm doing. But hopefully if you get this, I can take them out of the equation, because I'm going to show you guys how it's done, and hopefully it works. So without further ado, let's get to it. And remember, if you find this useful, if you like what I'm doing, hit that like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll keep going. I'll probably keep going without that, but it helps. Anyway, let's do this. Right, so in terms of the tools that you'll need for this install, so I always do this at the end of the install, so I can give you guys a good idea of what you need. Impact driver is totally a luxury, but you will need a small extension, a 24mm socket, preferably 6-sided, to get your steering wheel nut off. Before that, you will have to do some wiring and soldering, so you will need some wiring. So I'll put this here. You might not need it, you might need it, but you know, just to test things out, it's always nice to have some wiring. So yeah, so I have this soft shell, very nice wire, which is very flexible. You will also need a multimeter, just for your assurance. In terms of the settings that you'll need to use, is pretty much this logo here. You see it? This logo, the triangle arrow with the straight line in front of it, and then just buzzer. Basically, it tells you that the circuit that you're testing is continuous and there's no breaks in it. Absolutely critical when you're messing around with wires, just to double check before you put some volts through it, particularly near an airbag actually. So yeah, I would definitely recommend multimeter, because don't trust everything I say. I could have made a mistake in this video. You will also need some of these trim removal things, not trim, pin removal things for messing around with the steering wheel stuff. Also, as you saw that I cannibalized one of my harnesses, like this one here. If you can get the pins already from somewhere else, you know, great, you can use those, but I have 3 harnesses which I don't need really. Yeah, I only need one, which is in the car, so that's all good. I cannibalize that. You'll need something to open the airbag with. So I have this drill bit. It fits into the hole perfect, so it doesn't move around too much, and it's wide enough at the front that you can easily do the steering wheel. So let me show you on this one. So it fits in right there, perfect, and then it's a big enough contact point that you can really get some force on there. So it's a really good idea to get a drill bit. Put a bit of wire loom tape on it so you can push it in properly without hurting your thumb, and that being the critical factor of how much force you can apply. So very, very useful. Snips, because you got to cut wire, and cable ties, because we're tidying up. A little pick just to help remove some of the clips out. It just really helps, just really nice. 10mm socket, sorry, is it 10? Yeah, 10mm socket for the battery terminal for the negative. But obviously make sure you do that. Don't do this live, guys, come on. You don't want an airbag going off in your face whilst you're holding something, so yeah, don't do that. Play it safe. I think this is a 6-inch extension, 1/4 inch, as well as 7mm bit for the far bolt under the steering column that you need to remove. You will also need, where is it, a screwdriver with the Torx 20 bit. So there's that. 1/4 inch ratchet, a sharp blade just to strip some of the wires nicely and do something like soldering. So soldering, depends on which side of the pond you're from. I say both, so it doesn't matter. So a soldering iron, some good quality solder, whichever one you say again. So yeah, good quality stuff so it lasts, and some high quality tape. Like, guys, don't buy the cheap stuff, please. You know, like, get some quality vinyl tape which can really stretch, and when you heat it, it tightens up. So you know, this is what you want. You don't get the cheap stuff, please. So yeah, that's that. Loom tape again helps tidy things up, make sure things are OEM. Some wire snips. I've got these automatic snips, but to be honest, the blade can do, so this is a luxury item. A heat gun, because it helps it helps with the, once you've applied the tape, you just heat it up and it really creates a good adhesion and seal. So I'm gonna put that here, just take up a lot of space. And I think that's all I use really. Yeah, there's nothing else lying around. So that's it. This is all the stuff you need to do this install really well. Enjoy it. I'm trying some new views. So let me just get this up. So I'm trying some new views. I've got a little, butterfingers. I've got a little cap mount and I've got a head mount as well. So yeah, so I'm trying some new views. I've got a second GoPro as well, which is currently on charge, and something else I bought recently, which is a headrest mount. So I'll be reviewing this because I haven't used it fully yet, but I'll review this to tell you guys whether it's this particular one is worth getting. It looks like a good quality one. Before I start taking off the steering wheel and everything else, and then trying to figure out what's going on, I'm just gonna try and mock this up and get it going. I've tested it before, but it didn't quite work, and like apparently you're supposed to use this as your 12-volt supply. But the thing is, it plugs into a pin here which has very low voltage. So I'm just gonna check that out and see what's going on, because this is the only part that I'm actually quite unsure of. So let's move to the car. First things first, let's unlock our puppy. Excellent. Oh, keys we shall put in here. We take this, and I think that is all we need. I've also got my old really long piece of wire just for the ground, so I can just test everything. So let's see. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Ooh. That was, don't want to hit the GTR. Right. Pop this here. Pop this there. And I'm gonna get inside. Right, so first things first, I need a chassis ground. So the way I'm gonna do that is, I think the last time I did it was just use the door handle. Like so. So that's our chassis ground. And what I'll do is I'll get the steering wheel, and obviously we've got the right colors. Red is always your positive and black your negative. The best way I remembered it when I was a kid was, why do blacks have to be negative, right? Why can't black be positive? But yeah, it is what it is. So that's our ground hooked. And then apparently the positive then goes into this, which is weirdly labeled as horn return wire. So I don't know. I have no idea. But you know, let's see if this works. It should work after the clarifications I've had. So that can go there. So just a quick test checkup. And the blue we are discarding, we don't need that. Next, we just, let's just place this there. Ooh, we don't want that. Keep those separate. Okay, so we'll take off our London gauge and plug this puppy in. Straight away, it's worked. Excellent, that's a good sign. So So now keep these separate. Yep, excellent. If I press the start button, nothing happens. But then if I start the car up, works. So we are in business. So we know the basics of how this works now. The key being that this blue and silver wire does carry 12 volts, but when I checked it in the past with a multimeter, it didn't carry 12 volts, so it must be some wizardry going on, which I don't understand, and I think I don't need to. The key is that it works. Right, what's next? So let me switch this off. Let me show you guys actually. Oil change. I changed the oil 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and I've only done 1,000 miles. It's telling me to change oil. I don't think so. Anyway, stop that, and this should stop. I think when you, there you go. Brilliant, brilliant. It's working. No thanks to OHC. That's right. So okay, that's working. So let's undo the connections. And use this at a later stage. So we know we're in business. Now how does it work next? Like, how do I get this wire into the steering column, you know, and how does it work? So basically when you take this off, then what happens is, obviously you've got your steering wheel harness inside the steering wheel, which plugs into the clock spring, and then you have the 2 yellow wires which plug into the airbag. We're not going to touch any of that really. The only thing we need to do is we need this 12 volt to be attached with a pin. Now I don't have a pin, but because I have a spare steering wheel, you could use the harness from this. I'm just gonna cannibalize the harness pin from there and plug it into pin 2 for this harness. So pin 2, it's a 16 pin harness in here. So this is the one I'm talking about. Let me show you guys. So this is the harness. So what we do is we put the 12 positive into this pin 2 right here. But obviously I'm gonna get the metal pin that goes in here from the other steering wheel. What I'll do is probably just cut a length a bit far back, and then just solder this on to that, heat wrap it, and it will just plug in like OEM, because I don't want issues and I don't want to go in here. For the ground, you have your ground here, which is black. You can see it splits into a million different wires, and they ground each of these out. So that will be our ground here. Again, I'm gonna keep it OEM. I'm gonna try and run it so it works nice, and it doesn't get in the way of future things. This I might just, I don't know, I might just cut it off and tape it and call it a day with this one. But yeah, so that's that. And then this plugs into your clock spring through there, and then from the clock spring there's like a harness that goes in around here somewhere, and in that's a I think it's a 12 pin harness. And again, on pin number 2 you bring this in and you plug it in, and lo and behold, it should work. So there's nothing more left to do apart from do it. Yeah, but you got to make sure that when you start doing this, you finish this, simply because you have to unplug your battery. What I gotta do is I'm gonna bring these over. So I'm gonna bring these over here onto these pedal shifters. Actually, I might not bother doing that. I might just undo this, replace this with this, because this has a slight scratch on it, as I've mentioned before. And yeah, and then put it on. I'll just buy some new extenders to put on this, and we should be good, because I do really like these to help you shift the gear. So if you don't have these, I do recommend. They're not great from the top, but they certainly work from here. You can hear it. Like, so their efficacy sort of stops around here. But you know, they do give you extra, so all the way to the bottom it works. So they turn them into about that big. These tops are completely useless. So that's that, and then I'm gonna put that out for sale as well. Anyway, so that's the plan, that's the theory. Yeah, I'll talk you guys through how to do this, and you guys will have 0 questions after this, hopefully. So what they say is after you've disconnected the negative battery terminal, you should give it about 5 minutes for everything to sort of dissipate. I don't know what truth is in that, but it's what they say. And the way I see it, it can't hurt to, you know, be a little bit cautious with regards to that. I think it's a 10 mil. Go grab that. The next stage for us is we're going to cannibalize this harness. So I have 3 of those effectively, so I'm not too fussed about what happens to it really. So I'm gonna cut this. I just need to decide which color wire I'm gonna use. Probably just gonna go with red, you know, because it's going into a red one. So we'll cut this up right here. There, and then we'll use on the other end a white wire, because again, white and silver. There we go. So now it's just a matter of taking these out. Now then, I have no idea how you take them out, but I have a whole bunch of these things. So let's see. Okay. All right. So this red thing comes off. The thing is designed to come off. Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. Interesting. So you lift it up. Just like, so you put it in, lift it up, push it from the back. There we go. It frees up. And then it should just come out.
just like that. So that's pretty much all you need, I think. Okay, so my advice for this then is get one of these, push it out from the back, this side and this side, and then what you have to do basically is where is it going? You lift up a pin by, say, putting this in there, lifting it, and then pushing it through the back, and that does the trick. So excellent. So I've learned something new. I didn't know that. That's it. So we can put this away. We're needing that. So these are the two main things that we needed. Okay. Get some wire strippers. Time to get the steering wheel. Side because we need to replace this anyway, so I'm just gonna put that to one side. Then so the blue, I don't even need this. Okay. Beautiful. Happy with that. So that can just live there. Now these. Excellent. Then what we want to do is just drive this Now we just need to solder that. Likewise, we're going to do the same with this. Bloody smoke alarm. So this is a high quality electrical tape. It's good for, as you can see, minus 18 to 105 degrees C, 3M Scotch. It's good stuff. It's what I've used on my supercharger build, so I'm just gonna there we go, very nice. So I've taped that up, heated that up, so that's good to go. And likewise, I'm going to do the same to this one. But before I do anything, I need to put some loom tape on just to protect the rest of the wires. Okay. I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. Okay. Because this needs to go in pen 2. Perfect. Pin 2. Yep, pin 2. Yes, sir. Okay, so this is done. Which is great. Now we just gotta take the other wheel off. I'll show you guys. Special tool. Goes in through here. You can see it's pretty good. Just that. Right, time has now come to remove the airbag. So there's going to be a fair bit of back and fro. So the hole, where's the hole? Oh no, that's not good. Oh man, we're gonna have to take these off. Because they are covering the holes. Never easy, is it? No sir. So one of the problems I already have is that I have these, so I'm gonna have to heat them up and remove them from the pedal shifters. Great, well that's one more thing to do. If you have these, the way to do them is just to pull them off this way rather than to try and break them off. All right, we've done that. All right, now we can get into our airbag. Be careful with these, they're apparently very easy to damage. And then you need a new clock spring, which isn't cheap. There we go. So a Shelby airbag. Then we need to just, because it's gone under there. $24 it is. Where it needs to go. So right, GT350 wheel, I'm gonna need that for some transferring things, is off. Now we need to take this trim off. I have no idea where to begin with this. Oh, there are bolts underneath. Okay, all right, there's one in there. And there's one here. Okay. And the harness that we're interested in is just down there. So yeah. Torsion. See what we're dealing with. Ugh. No, it's not a T20, it's a bloody bolt. Oh my god. So that's a 7mm bolt. Oh man. Oh, right, fed the cat. These bolts are important, so we can pop them there. Okay, now the key is to get this clock spring off. Not the clock spring, the cover off. So I'm just gonna put this in the middle, and then apparently you just pull them apart, and they pull apart. Oh. Well, there I think is fine, so yeah. There we go. So the top one we don't really need. Bolts definitely off. Any more bolts for anybody? No. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. And there we go. So it comes forward almost. That's all. Trim this off there. Right, what do we have to play with, Doctor? Okay, so this is the one that we are interested in. Yep. So we also need to put a pin in pin 2. The nice thing is it's the same size, which is beautiful. So this should be relatively easy now. What I gotta do now, oop, that's not good. I don't gotta do that. What I have to do now is solder the white cable onto this, and then it should be long enough. Then I'll run it from along this, actually, have it hanging out there, and we should be kosher really. This is going rather well. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. All right. Let's go do some soldering. And we're waiting, and we're waiting, we're waiting. Excuse the mess. There's a lot of mess. Excuse the mess. No, not the smoke alarm. Not the smoke alarm. All right, so done. Now we gotta push the other one out. But before we do that, I'm just thinking about it. I'm just gonna do some tests to make sure that the continuity of the wires that we're tapping into is actually the wires that we are, are actually correct. So we are gonna go from pin 2 here is supposed to go to pin 2 here. So let's have a look. so that's pin 2. So if it goes like this, pin 2 is down there somewhere. Okay, that's gonna be fun. All right, so here's what we'll do. We will plug this in and then use the wire to do it. So first things first, we gotta push that out. Push it out with anything really. Don't screw this up. I need more light, guys. I need more light. So yep, that's definitely one. So the pin that we are going in is here, and we just want to make sure the orientation of this is correct as well. Yep, so it has to go in like so. So that's fine. So what we're gonna do now is just plug this in temporarily, and I just want to test the continuity to make sure that what we're doing is right and we don't fry something. Yep, so I'm gonna put it on this, your multimeter, which is on. So on mine, actually no, so it's this logo here, but then I want a buzzer, so I'm gonna select. So your multimeter might be a bit different, so I'm gonna stick this in here. Excellent, and then it should beep when I press. So you see, so now if you notice, that's pin 2 there, and this has been plugged in into an empty pin as well, and what we're getting is a beep there. So if I touch any of the others, I don't get a beep, which is perfect, which is what we want. So we're utilizing an empty sort of slot, and we've just checked and make sure that the continuity from this pin here to pin number 2, which is what we've utilized in our steering wheel, is actually absolutely correct. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna tidy this up a bit with some cable ties. Just run it along, thread it through there. Oh, camera. Just like so, and yeah, we're getting to a point where we're almost there. Whew. Yes sir. Okay, so summary, we've got the clock spring in the right place. We're happy that the continuity from there to there is correct. We know that we plugged it into pin 2 over there as well, so we know that's correct. We have done the ground. It's beeping at me. We have done the ground, so we know that's good. So yeah, why is it beeping? Oh, it's not that, it's this. It's this. Okay, so switch this off. Let's switch this off. So we're happy with that. Excellent. So far our wiring is all good. Right, so one of the things I forgot to do is to actually put this lock back on my harness for just this one here, for the clock spring. It's not a big issue, but after I cleaned the car, came back home from a drive, I noticed I hadn't done it. I think I just got carried away with the excitement and the video, so I'm just gonna do that now. The good thing is you don't have to undo everything, so if you do make that mistake like I did, you just have to undo the top one, slide the bottom part out. Right, it's perfectly doable, as you can see. Take the clip off, obviously undo your battery, and push that back on. and you're good to go. So we all make mistakes. It's not a critical one. I don't think anything would happen, but you know, I like things to be done correctly, so I'm just rectifying that. So if you caught that on the video, I did correct it. All right, guys, and good luck with the install. We just need to tidy this up here because I don't like it just hanging like that. It probably will be fine, but I'm just gonna get some cable ties and just make it a little neater. So we're getting to a stage where we're very close to assembly, really. So cable ties, man, I love having a workshop. Honestly, everything I need is where it needs to be, and it's just a joy, you know, it's just a joy. Very grateful to the Almighty. So let's have a look. One here, I think. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Don't be like that, baby. Man, the lighting is so bad. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. Perfect. This is an airbag, so we can't really put anything there. Okay. That's all done. Right. Now we can start the assembly process. We're happy that pin 2 is going into there, so we're happy with this wiring. Now we can put this back on. Okay. What's going on? Oh, okay, I see. There we go. That's fine. And then we just have to bring this down. Beautiful. Factory. Right, then. Okay, now we need to swap over some stuff. Yes. Ugh. You just swap this over to there. So my advice to everybody is just buy a used steering wheel with all the trim on it. And then you know you're not gonna have any headaches. Just gotta make your life easy for yourself. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna take this off, put it on here, put that on there. All right, let's do it. Our existing wheel, it can go into storage or for sale. If you want this, hit me up. Minus all the goodies that are attached to it. Okay, so this one now. That's right? You know you need to get in the play, so don't mess with me. Okay. Next, first things first, we gotta put this screw in. No, we're not gonna make the same mistake again. I'm not happy with that location. Brilliant. All right. Okay. Don't need this for now. I will need it for the steering column. So actually we'll just take that. We'll take this as well. Make sure it's in pin 2. Yep, there it is, pin 2. 1 and 2. Pin 2, there we go. Okay. We can't test it because the airbag's not on, so So I had a bit of an issue with the steering wheel not being straight when I'm driving, so I'm guessing this is the play that I need to rectify. So I'm just gonna go with the fact, let's just make sure the wheels are perfectly straight, which they seem to be. So we'll just go for it and make sure it is perfectly straight. We'll just go there. So there's that, there's that, there. All over there. If not, we know what to do. It's not the end of the world. So I would suggest make a mark. Yellow into yellow. And black into black. The key is to have these pressed down. Really make sure they're locked. Otherwise you will have an airbag warning, and we don't want that. I think this is the hole, I'm not sure, but that's not something I need to know yet. Right then. That's pretty much it, really. Okay, it's not going in. Why isn't it going in? There we go. Right. Now, we have this. So we'll plug this in. For now, just temporarily. And plug this in also. Then it's a moment of truth. What do we have here? None of these are right. We need a 10 mil. Is it in there? No. 10 mil. Ooh. It's a 12 mil. Oh, I picked up a 9 mil, that's why. Here goes nothing. Oh, no key detected. Is it still recording? Yes. Okay, that should be working now. Okay, so that, yes, it's working. It's plugged in, so if I start it, success. That's what we like to see, gentlemen. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's make sure all the switches are working. Yep. Volume's working. I guess we can't do that until we do that. I don't think. Yep, that's working. Thank you. Yep, that's working as well. Brilliant. Horn's working as well. So yeah, guys, it's done. I just gotta tidy this up, and yeah, so I'm gonna put on a bit of a time lapse so you guys can check it out, see what I do. But yeah, I'm very happy, and I'll give you guys an update once this is all tidied up. Right, so doing some tidying up here. I can't do a time lapse because I'm struggling to get a good angle, as you can see, but this is the tidying up that I've done so far. So basically I wrapped everything up with loom tape, even this, and I took this little fuse cover off around the accelerator pedal, and I've just pretty much placed it in there, in between the carpet and all the wiring there, so you can see the carpet, and it's just sort of hidden around the back there somewhere. And that's the best method I've sort of found. Another note, if you have a Lund end gauge, which I do, and although it has another empty slot for the OBD, they don't like each other. They don't like each other at all. So the Lund end gauge just switches itself off. So bear that in mind. For the picture, I'm gonna leave mine in. It just won't be on, I guess. And yeah, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. So yeah, but I've got some gauges coming anyway, some fuel pressure gauges, oil pressure gauge, and boost gauge, which I'm going to mount, so it will make the Lund gauge quite redundant anyway, unless I need it with data logging. So that's where we are at the moment. I'm just going to tidy that up, and then yeah, take it from there. See you guys in a bit. Right, so that's the install complete pretty much now. It's gotten dark, so I can't really do any more. I've tidied up as much as I can, so this is, I think, the best you'll get. It's just hidden behind that fuse door. Yeah, sorry I can't get you a better angle than this. It's just so hard to get anything decent in there. So yeah, it's just buried behind that, and my Lund end gauge is still resting on the side there, so if I need to diagnose stuff or whatever, or data log, I still have it. Yeah, that's it. I'll show you guys the finished product in a bit, and yeah, I'll take you guys out for a drive in it as well, so you can see how it works. But yeah, with the Kenny Bell, typically I sit around 1400 RPM cruising at 40, you know, so that's sort of perfect. Limit is at 1500 RPM because the lights aren't on. I might increase that to 1600, but let's see how things go. It's just gonna be a learning process. The speedometer seems accurate, as it should, because it's reading off the OBD2. The RPM seem accurate, and again, as they should, they're reading off the OBD2. So yeah, I think I'm gonna change the 1500 RPM limit because it just sort of flashes every now and again. probably 2000. But it's really nice having a digital speed readout on the steering wheel. It's literally right in front of me, and you know, since I can't afford a speeding ticket, it's a really handy feature. So if you guys don't know, in the UK, speeding tickets are based on your weekly income, and obviously you get points on your driver's license as well. And yeah, and the penalties from the insurers are very, very severe for a speeding ticket, in the sense that your premiums go up crazy. So that's why it just doesn't pay to speed. It's cheaper to just do a track day, to be honest. Particularly for me, it's cheaper to do probably 3 or 4 track days. So that's why I just don't risk it. But you know, decent. Oh my god, what is this guy doing? It's a worthwhile mod for me, as someone who doesn't daily their car but likes to enjoy the drive, and I enjoy the fact that I actually have the digital speed now.